Mick and Sam, taking you to Jungle Land. Bengals pride, it fills the air. Every week we're always there. Touchdowns, tackles, all the plays. Bengals roaring every way. Stories, news, and game recaps. Jungle Juice, we bridge those gaps. Welcome to the Jungle Juice. Mick and Sam, let's break it loose. Cincinnati, hear our call. Bengals fans, unite us all.
Welcome into this week's edition of the Jungle Juice podcast. I'm Sam Gormley. He's Mick Nelson. Mick, how's it going?
It's going good. It's going good over here. We're only 2 days away from our fantasy draft. We get to watch both of us compete in the combine here. You got your draft board ready?
I don't make draft boards.
You don't make draft boards?
No. I think it's kind of a waste of time.
Oh, no. I love making draft boards. It's my favorite part of fantasy season.
I love, and I was explaining this to somebody in the last week, how there's so many different ways you can play fantasy football, and how me and you take it two completely different ways. And neither one of us is wrong. Like, you're very much I'm going to hit the waiver wires. I'm going to do a lot, and tweak my roster throughout, where I'm more of once I have my team, I'm not really going to make many moves at all. And there's really no right or wrong answer to that, because we've both had years where, like last year in the league that we were in together, I lost in the championship, and you were, were you the worst team in that league?
So there is one league where I am cursed in, and that is my high school fantasy league with that you have been a part of on 2 occasions now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for some reason got kicked from it for about a 6 or 7 year period, maybe even longer than that.
I
got evicted.
You had a Connor Stallions moment in the fantasy league, and you said, Cyan, you were banned. You had a 7-year ban.
I had a show cause
and
for not doing anything.
In all 7 of those years, I have not made the playoffs of the Dick Trickle Fantasy League. So that league, I'm cursed in. The league we are in, me and Sam are in 2 leagues. Sam is in my other fantasy league now with our number 1 fan Riley, wherever he's at right now.
I don't think he deserves that. He doesn't deserve that title.
Our number 1 fan. Who would be our number 1 fan?
Lisa deserves it. No, it's not Riley.
Okay,
it's not. Yeah, I'll put my foot down.
Number 2 fan Riley.
He's like 17th at least. Frank. We love Frank. He usually watches more than Riley does. Listen,
Frank does watch more.
He does. Listen, and Frank, if you're watching Houday, man, we appreciate it. Listen, there's a lot of fans that we got doing this. All right, on cue, he pops in here. Jaron Hall. He just says Jaron Hall. But yeah, we have a fantasy draft on Saturday.
I am cursed in this other league too. In this league, I can only make it to the championship game and not win. So we're 2 for 2 on. We're gonna pull Jim Kelly and Marva Levy. Did I pronounce his last name? We're gonna pull
you're pretty much
90s Bills.
Mix like the Jeff Fisher of fantasy football, right?
No, I'm not. I'm not going 500. I'm either making the championship or I'm going I'm in the bottom of the league.
So you're Kyle Shanahan?
Yeah, you call me Kyle Shanahan. Just can never win, win, and then some years a tank.
Yep, some year you get your top 5 draft pick. But enough about fantasy football on the show today. There's a lot to get to for Bengals football. Trey Hendrickson, more news about that. Is it really news? We'll discuss that. I don't know, key piece, but a piece on the Bengals offense will now miss the rest of the season. We're going to talk about that. The Bengals had a free agency visit yesterday, leaving with no deal. We'll talk about that. Then the Commanders game. Nick, we're going to have to talk about it. We're going to have to talk about it. I got my red towel there. We got to talk about it. That'll be a little bit later on in the show. And then Mick is going to give his full breakdown of the Colts game a little bit later on. You've been watching the film of the Colts 4th stringers, and you've got thoughts, right, on all of that. So that's what you
I'm
get to
only
look forward
gonna
to on
I'm only
today's
gonna
show.
have one name drop. Next year for preseason games, I'm just gonna talk about guys that I have on my dynasty fantasy team of the other team that we're playing against, and then just what I kind of hope to see out of that particular person and why I liked them so much that I drafted them.
I love
And
it.
I got
I
one
love
on the Colts, so I'm only going
So
to
there we
talk
go.
about one guy.
That's what we call a tease in the industry. But we invite you to follow us on our social media channels. We're Facebook, we're YouTube, we're on Twitter. We're also on your favorite podcasting platform. Please give us a 5-star rating. That way, then more people can find our show. But I think we got to start off with the big news of the week, and that's Trey Hendrickson. Is it news, really, though? So it comes out earlier this week that, hey, the Bengals are now shopping Trey Hendrickson. I know Diana Rossini from The Athletic, she reported saying that the Bengals were going to were requesting a first-round pick and a young defensive player in return for Trey Hendrickson.
You want to know what my response was when I saw that?
I can probably assume what your response was. Did you laugh out loud?
Yes, very much so.
Listen, we both love Trey Hendrickson. We've talked about this a lot over these last, really over the last year and a half. Because you got to think that Trey Hendrickson requested his first trade. Because I remember it happened like an hour before we did our
like July of
draft
last
show.
year.
No,
right?
it was before the draft show last year. Because I remember we
Was
had
it
to
really?
start. Yes, it was. It was the Wednesday before the NFL draft of last year. That was the first time. So we've been talking about this for almost a year and a half. And like Lisa says here, haven't they been listening to offers all along? Yes. And that's where I just think this is just really, this is such, like I had people who aren't Bengals fans, messaging me, like this is, to me, it's just a non-story because they're not trading Trey Hendrickson. They're not.
No, it really, I mean, the closer we come to the season, I think the more realizes that we're going to have Trey Hendrickson this year, whether he's willingly playing or semi-willingly playing or just not playing at all and sacrificing $16 million this year and God knows how much next year in free agency because teams don't like that. We've seen holdouts during the season before that have lasted the whole season. Le'Veon Bell's a really good example of that. And what happens with Le'Veon Bell? He ends up taking less money than what the Steelers originally offered him the offseason before.
And he's younger, too.
Yeah,
I mean, what
and
was Le'Veon Bell,
was
27?
in his prime. Yeah, like he was just coming off his rookie contract, plus 1 year of being tagged under the franchise tag. So Trey Hendrickson's not that. He's going into year 9 of his NFL career. He is above the age of 30. He's 31 years old. So, yeah, I mean, I think that if he sits out and Bengals don't trade him, he sits out. Like, yeah, he's sacrificing future earnings in free agency next year. So I think really the Bengals just need to weather the storm with this. If they don't want to keep Trey, just don't do anything. He'll eventually come back.
Because they're not getting a first-round pick for him. They're not.
No.
They're not. And they're probably not getting a young defensive player worth anything.
I will put the first round pick like out of reach for them.
But they're not getting both. Let's put it.
No. There's no way you're getting both.
Unless your young defensive player is like, hey, Lance Robinson is on the Bengals. He is, by definition, a young defensive player. Who cares if he's going to be released here in a week and a half, or PJ Jules or something?
Yeah, I was gonna say even just like a mid young defensive player, like shit, I can't even think of who right now. Like somebody that the Falcons have, like an Arnold Ebiketie for the Atlanta Falcons. Like it's not going to be that good of a defensive player. But I think the first rounder is still in reach, especially if there's a team that has an edge rusher that goes down. And has a season-ending injury during the training camp portion of the schedule here. So I don't know.
It's something that I just am not worried really about, because even then, as Joe Burrow made a really good point after the game on Monday, where he pretty much said, yeah, this is going to get done because the Bengals like waiting until the Thursday, or like a couple of days before the game, and that's when they usually get done. That's when I signed mine. Jamar, he had some movement in his. Now, obviously, Jamar didn't sign it in that last week, but he mentioned that Jamar had at least some more discussions closer to the game. You think back to AJ Green, when he signed his first contract extension, they were literally getting on the plane to go to Oakland to open up the season that year. So this is not something that is like you want to follow trends. Yeah. And that is the trend for the Bengals. Now, in 2 weeks, if nothing is done, or at least we're not hearing, hey, they're close, that's when my worry level will go up a little bit. But right now, I just like this earlier this week. This to me it was just such a non-story at all. Nothing at all.
Yeah. And I don't know. I fell prey to it initially. Like I remember asking you about it when we were online a couple days ago, and you're like, "This is a non-story," and I was like, "Damn, Sam's right per usual." Another point here. I think the Cincinnati Bengals front office may be my spirit animal at this point, because I love to procrastinate. Hell, I procrastinated writing notes for the show today because I just didn't want to do it. I'm lazy.
Do you ever not procrastinate?
No. I procrastinate all the time.
You procrastinate getting up in the morning.
I procrastinate getting up every day. And there's no front office in the NFL that loves to procrastinate more than the Cincinnati Bengals front office. Maybe the Dallas Cowboys front office. They may actually have the Bengals beat on that.
I do see here Mike writes in, I don't think Trey is Miles or Max or Micah, so definitely not worth that. But without a doubt, aside from run defense or whatever, Trey wins ball games in the fourth quarter. I don't think that's inaccurate at all. You saw him clutch out, but then if we are being honest, Mick, there were some moments last year where he was a non-factor in games.
Yeah, he was a very streaky edge rusher. Now, I think some of that coincided. I think
he was the only edge rusher.
Well, he not even that he was the only edge rusher. I think he was playing hurt for like a good 2 or 3 game stretch. And I think it was that Commanders game, the Panthers game, and then following the Panthers game was the Ravens game.
Yes.
All three, the defense didn't look great in. I know they won the Panthers game, but they still made Andy Dalton look pretty darn good, even though I think Andy isn't that bad of a quarterback still. But you saw that 3-game stretch, and I think that's where the streakiness reputation is kind of coming, is that if he's playing hurt, he's not winning pass rush reps. I mean, those were games that he graded pretty horribly in pass rush, or not good enough.
Again, in 2 weeks, I think we could have a different discussion. When we're doing our season preview show, we're diving in, we're making bold predictions and so on. We could be having a different discussion. But as of right now, like Riley says, it's a negotiation tactic on both of these sides. They're going to figure it out, and I'm really just not that worried about it at all. Other news headlines from the week. Earlier today, Zach Taylor announces that Cordell Volson is expected to miss the entire season. I think right now there might be like a small, and when I say small, I mean very, very small chance that maybe he'd be back for like the playoffs. But I don't really think that you're betting on that at all. Do you have a reaction to Cordell Volson being out for the season, or do you want me to hit the other injury news from today from Zach Taylor?
I mean, this really does, if there's one solid depth piece you had on this offensive line that wasn't going to be a starter, I think both.
He's a known commodity.
It's Cordell Volson. He has the starting experience. No, he hasn't been particularly good when he's played on the football field, but I feel more comfortable putting him out there than I'd feel comfortable putting Cody Ford out there at an interior offensive line, at a guard spot, one of the 2 guard spots. So yeah, I mean we already talked about the depth being an issue, and the matter just got a whole lot worse. And I think they're really crossing fingers that they can get Dalton Risner on this team now. I think that's why you saw them bringing him out for a workout.
Let's go back to him in a few minutes. Let's hit some of these injury news as well. Lucas Patrick, day-to-day. So, he left the game on Monday with an injury. Zach Taylor said it's not as bad as they thought it was. So that's at least positive. Mike Gesicki, Drew Sample, and Miles Murphy are all day-to-day, according to Zach Taylor. But he said all 3 of those guys, if Saturday was a real game, they would play. So that at least makes you feel pretty good that they would. Cody Ford, day-to-day, not listed in that grouping, though. But again, it's not like you were going to see that much probably of Cody Ford on Saturday anyways. Good news, BJ Hill started practicing in some team drills again today. He hadn't been doing that really at all in training camp. Geno Stone and Jermaine Burton are progressing day-to-day, and Zach Taylor did say Dax Hill will be ready for week 1, which is good, coming back from that ACL injury. So those are some of the injury reports, and you have some good news on there. And I think, knock on wood, the Bengals have had a pretty healthy training camp.
They have.
As far as, and again, I am knocking on wood as hard as I possibly can, that they have avoided a lot of those big injuries, because last year, if you remember, they had a couple of them, Cam Sample, Deontay Smith, and there was one more that went down with an injury, I think, in the preseason, I think on the same day. I don't remember who that. Sam Hubbard, I think, had one maybe in training camp that he missed most of the camp as well. Okay, you mentioned the guard coming in on visit, leaving without a deal. How are you feeling?
Slightly optimistic. I mean, I think that the Bengals have a really good selling point, as in you are going to start right away. And also between the two other teams that he's visiting, the Seahawks and the Steelers, we by far have the best offense out of those three teams. We by far have the best quarterback out of those three teams. The only thing I'm wary of, and I feel like, I don't know if this has always been a worry with you when it comes to signing free agents, is that I wonder if they use Joe Burrow as a selling point too much, to the point where they maybe skimp a little bit on the money that they're giving out. So hopefully that the offer is good enough to bring Dalton Risner in the building, because if he's in the building, he's starting right away for this team. I mean, I don't think there's any competition between him and Lucas Patrick or Cody Ford.
I mean, last year he graded a 68.1 blocking grade, 76.1 pass blocking. I mean, he turns that in, and I think he's started a ton of games in his career. He's always been. I mean, is he an elite guard? No, but is he?
He's the new Alex Kappa before Alex Kappa.
Yeah. He is super, super solid. He's one of those guys that, and to me, this is the best offensive lineman that you can possibly have on your team, is if you have a casual Bengals fan, they would go, let's say like week 10, they go, hey, who's that number 60, whatever it is? And the reason that they don't know his name is because he doesn't do anything. He just blends in amongst the rest.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, Dalton Risner was somebody I wanted 2 years ago when he was a free agent from the Denver Broncos. I was like, that would be a great piece of right guard. Ended up getting, I guess, did we get Alex Kappa the year before? Did we get him the year
Alex Kappa was post-Super
Bowl. We got him in 2022. Okay,
correct.
So I think Dalton Risner would have been the left guard solution, I guess, when I was looking at free agents, even though he's primarily played at right guard.
Correct.
But that is where the hole is right now. We have a need at right guard. And they are we're running out of those. We're running out of free agents now. Will Hernandez is gone. Brandon Scherf is retired. Dalton Risner is the only one left. So really,
you do have Shaq. What's his name? Shaq
Mason. Mason had a pretty terrible year last year. We might as well have kept Alex Kappa if that's the case.
Well, I mean, he had to have been better than Alex Kappa, but still.
Actually, it wasn't that bad.
I was going to say, I don't think it was that bad.
Maybe his run blocking was bad.
Well, and it's not like
57.7 run. I mean, they've never been a good run blocking team.
I was going to say, that's not a deal breaker when it comes to the Bengals. But I agree with what Lisa said. Noah Fant did the same thing. He came out and he said, I want to take all my visits. Risner said the same thing. If, in a couple of days we haven't heard anything, then we're worried, maybe. But my assumption is that I don't know if I'd be surprised, but I feel pretty decent. Better than 50% chance that in 1 week we are discussing his addition to the Bengals offensive line. What percentage chance would you say?
I'd say right around like 60.
Yeah, and I was even going to say 70. Like, I feel pretty confident. Because, I mean, listen, like Lisa said, and you made the point, who wouldn't want to play for Joe Burrow? Like, I don't know. And I know we're just a smidge biased, But at the same time, you've seen him play, and he's pretty darn good. Last bit of news: Joe Flacco will start against the Bengals Week 1 against the with the Browns. He also started the Bengals season opener against the Bengals in 2008.
He did,
which is just, when you're thinking about this is just hilarious on how long Joe Flacco has been playing quarterback in the NFL. I don't think this surprises literally anybody that he is starting Week 1, because I don't know that
Shedeur
or Dylan
Shedeur.
Gabriel, Kenny Pickett.
I think Shedeur is probably, is he above Dylan Gabriel on the depth?
No, Shedeur is still fourth on the depth chart in the preseason.
That's surprising because Dylan Gabriel has not looked good.
And who did they sign to? Oh, Scoop Huntley
Snoop Huntley. Yeah,
Snoop
Tyler Huntley.
Yeah. Maybe he'll start. You never know. But yeah, does Joe Flacco starting Week 1 change anything about how you feel about that game?
No, I mean, I think that we all thought Joe Flacco was starting right away. I mean, I think I'm still a little scared about the Browns game, just because Joe Flacco, the last time he played for the Browns, was pretty darn good, led them to the playoffs. And I think he could be the guy that makes that offense work, I guess. But also, there's been a lot of changes to that offense since the 2023 season. I mean, Bill Callahan has been gone now for 2 years, and that offensive line was in shambles last year with the subtraction of Bill Callahan. The skill position players still aren't great for Cleveland. Their starting running back is we don't know if he's going to be playing right now due to off-field issues.
Those were, I believe, those were dismissed. Those charges.
They were?
I believe so.
I mean, hell, even if charges are dropped, I mean, the NFL still lays out suspensions just for bad image, right? So
yeah, and honestly, I think Myles Garrett, he had his issue too, where he got cited for driving like 105 miles per hour. He's done that a couple of times. Honestly, I think it'd be okay if the NFL just suspended him Week 1. I think that's fair, right?
I think they should do it.
And honestly, they should make it a 2-game suspension, but bookend it. Make the second game Week 18. I think that's fair. I think it's very fair. Just say, hey, Myles, you can't play that game. You can't play. Okay, let's go to this past Monday night. The Bengals won a preseason game, something we've never been able to talk about since we've been doing this podcast, which is wild. We're now over 2 years into the show, and we've never been able to talk about a preseason victory. So how excited were you after the Bengals defeated the Commanders? What was it, 31-17? Was that the final
score?
Yeah,
I'm honestly, just given how that game started out, I'm a little surprised that we did win that, but by as much as we did.
I wrote down a couple of storylines that at least I wanted to get to. And I think the most important thing to talk is just go Joe Burrow right off the bat. And Mick, I got to ask you the question. What the hell was he doing on that one play?
I mean, honestly, what the hell? I mean, it wasn't, he didn't grade terribly. He didn't play terribly, but he played pretty damn recklessly during the game.
During the play, and listen, if you watch the game, you know exactly which play we're talking about. The one that he literally ran around for what felt like that was 4.5 minutes long. And I'm just sitting there on my couch. Go down, Joe. Go down, Joe. Lay down, Joe. Lay down, Joe. Stop, Joe. What are you doing, Joe? Stop it. Stop it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. And then finally he laid down. I'm like, please get up. Please get up. And he did. And I'm like, okay, thank goodness. Now, and then, I think that was on 3rd down. And then they put him back out there. And I was kind of like, okay, Zach. I had to look at it through objective lenses because, as we've talked about, in my opinion, he shouldn't have played any snaps in the preseason just because I didn't think it was. My anxiety didn't need a play like that on Monday night where he was just running around for his life. I didn't need that. But I don't know why he played as much as he did.
No, I mean, if I had to guess, the driving factor behind that decision-making was probably Joe Burrow himself, who felt like he needed to get some preseason reps in. The third drive was it irritated me a little bit. The fact that he went out there for a third drive after already getting sacked on that second drive. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I feel like there's got to be a point where maybe Zach puts his foot down. Like, where's the where's the line? Where's the line that you're willing to take having Joe Burrow play in this preseason? And I feel like that second drive was the line where you shouldn't be having him in for the rest of the game, for the rest of the preseason, for that matter.
I don't remember whether it was Mo Egger or if it was Paul Dehner on Twitter, but they made it. They tweeted something that literally I could not have agreed with anymore. I don't know if I retweeted it, but if I didn't, I should have, because I would have retweeted it 100 times and saying, after that play, the sack, I never want to see Joe Burrow take another snap in the preseason in my life. I just don't. It's just not worth it. It's not. Like, we got to find a way to get him game reps or something in actual practice to do that, because plays like that, they're just not worth it. Because if something happens to him, this is all screwed. Like, we're done. Although Jake Browning did look a lot better on Monday night.
Yeah. So Jake Browning had one of those games last week where I think I brought up the question, if he didn't have, that good stretch of play during the regular season in 2023, say if Joe played that entire season, that was the type of game last week that Jake Browning had that we would question whether he should be on this football team or not. It was pretty bad last week. Definitely much improved in this game against the Commanders. 16 of 25, 159 yards, 2 touchdowns, had a 77.9 pass grade, had a big time throw. I would assume that is one of those Mitchell Tinsley catches that he had. Yeah, I know. I think he moved the ball down the field pretty well. There were some times where I thought maybe he wasn't managing the pocket as well as I've seen Jake Browning manage a pocket before. But despite that, I thought he had a pretty darn good game.
Yes, and it made me feel a lot better about Jake Browning. Not that I was necessarily worried about him, because we've seen it. We've seen him struggle in the preseason as well, but it was nice that he bounced back and had a good performance. Okay, you mentioned him, but we got to talk about him now. He's the next most important thing. Let me I got to get my red towel out here. Oh, where's your red towel? Where's your red towel going? Mitchell Tinsley, former Western Kentucky Hilltopper. There it is. You didn't believe him. You were talking all your smack.
I don't think I was talking any smack. I have no idea who the hell he was.
Last year when the Bengals signed him, I think I was like, hey, this is a good get, and you were just like, man, he played for WKU or something. But listen, in the preseason, and let's take off my WKU hat here. I know he went to Penn State, but he's a Hilltopper through and through. He's caught all 6 targets for 88 yards and 2 touchdowns. And both of those touchdowns were incredible catches. Incredible catches by Mitchell Tinsley. And I'll ask you this question here, because I admit that I'm biased, but I think I can look at this objectively. Did he make the roster?
No.
Really?
I mean, hell, we saw Kendrick Pryor have a very similar preseason a couple years ago, 3 years ago, and didn't make the roster, right? I think that this wide receiver 6 possession battle is between him and Isaiah Williams. And the one nod I'm going to give over Isaiah Williams over Mitchell Tinsley is special teams, returning ability. In the event, if Charlie Jones goes down, Isaiah Williams is somebody that can return punts very well. Now, they do have Jermaine Burton on the roster too, and Jermaine Burton could also take that role over. But I think Isaiah Williams' special teams prowess, I guess, is what's going to put him over Mitchell Tinsley at the end of the day. And that's not to talk negatively about Mitchell Tinsley. He played really, really, really well on Monday.
See, to me, I think he absolutely solidified it, because the punt returning thing is something, but you've got Charlie Jones and you've got Jermaine Burton. And I know Charlie Jones is a wild card. We're going to have to talk about him because he's had a really, really good preseason as well, where he hasn't been able to stay healthy. But I mean, a guy like a Mitchell Tinsley, he's done everything right. But the thing that stands out the most about him is that Joe Burrow was asked multiple times, and pretty much asks the question that I just asked you. Do you want him on the roster? Is he going to make the roster? And he says, yes, he should be. I mean, that doesn't mean nothing.
No, I mean, Joe Burrow's endorsement's huge.
And that's not the first time he's endorsed Mitchell Tinsley. You remember that back in early August, he brought him up unannounced during one of his preseason press conferences where he just said, hey, Mitchell Tinsley's been really good. Clearly, Joe Burrow has grown to enjoy him. It is something that I think he is going to absolutely make this roster. And if not, he could be a piece that you could dangle to maybe where somebody would maybe make a trade for him. Now, I don't think you're going to get anything like you're not getting Micah Parsons for him, obviously, but you could get I don't know. Could you get a mid to low tier guard for depth piece for Mitchell Tinsley?
No, they would have to do that within the next couple of weeks.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying is, could something like that happen? Could they do a Billy Price for BJ Hill kind of deal? I know that's not a perfect comparison for this, but still, I think he's got to make the roster.
Yeah.
Because I think he brings more there on this. Riley says, whoa there, it's the Cowboys. You could 100% get Parsons. Listen, I love Mitchell Tinsley, but if Jerry Jones would agree Micah Parsons for Mitchell Tinsley straight up, I'll help Mitchell pack. I think I could agree to that deal. I think I could agree to that. Charlie Jones, he's had a really good preseason.
Yeah, he has. It's been solid. I think I think his short range ability. I don't think we've really seen that from him. I don't feel like we've really seen much receiving ability out of Charlie Jones over the past couple of years. He's been hurt too much. But yeah, being able to kind of see him play in this role, kind of as a security blanket. I mean, in this offense, at least amongst the backups, was something to definitely take note of here.
You made the point there, and honestly, I was thinking about this. Tim says, I'll go to Cincinnati, pack his bags, and fly his ass to Dallas for that deal. I agree, Tim. How many career catches did Charlie Jones have?
In the preseason?
No, I'm career NFL regular season catches. How many does he have? I was thinking about this while you were mentioning of just 8.
8, okay.
So as far as not a lot of experience, he has 69 yards in his NFL career. So yeah, he does not have a lot of experience.
Yeah, he had 1 reception for 5 yards last year. Yeah, so I think it was nice seeing what he could do. I mean, I think that you have a wide receiver 3 position battle between Charlie Jones, Andre Yoshivas, and Jermaine Burton, who we haven't seen at all this preseason. He's been banged up for the past week or two. And I'll tell you one thing. Anybody that says, "Oh, hey, we need to cut Jermaine Burton and keep Mitchell Tinsley," needs to get a psych evaluation. Unless if you're wanting to cut Jermaine Burton for off the field problems, which makes sense. But if we're talking strictly on the field, no, that guy's making the roster over Mitchell Tinsley.
And I don't think anybody's are people having that discussion?
I've known of a couple people talking about it. One is Riley's father.
I think Charlie Jones is the first man out. If we're comparing him to Tinsley and Williams, you're of no use if you're always hurt, Tyler says. No, I think Charlie Jones out of that 3 is the safest of the 3. Would you agree?
Between Isaiah Williams, Mitchell Tinsley,
and Charlie Jones.
Yeah. I think Charlie Jones is the safest. Not only do I think Charlie Jones is probably the better receiver out of those 3. Charlie Jones also has another 2 years of roster control, where Isaiah Williams, I think, only has 1 year, and I think Mitchell Tinsley, I guess he has 2 years under the what the league like minimum, that pretty much like a Jake Browning type of deal that Mitchell Tinsley would have if he made the roster. But I would still think that Charlie's the safest out of those 3, and especially for his returning ability.
Yes, without question. He's shown that. I mean, he hasn't shown a lot on the offensive side of the ball, but he's definitely shown that aspect. Tim asks, how many wide receivers do you think keep on the 53? I think 6.
6. They've always kept 6. Maybe there was one year where they kept 7.
Yes, there was a year not too long ago where they kept 7, but I think it's pretty. I mean, because Chase, Higgins, Yoshi,
Burton,
and Jones, I think, are locks.
And then
I think it's Tinsley and Williams for the last spot. And we just disagreed. You say Williams, I say it'll be Tinsley for that. Or maybe they'll surprise and keep 7, but I don't imagine you're keeping both of those guys. Any other positives that you wanted to talk about on offense, or should we just go ahead and talk about the defense?
I mean, I think the starting 4 offensive line and even Lucas Patrick to an extent. Lucas Patrick still graded pretty well in pass blocking. That's where the grading comes in kind of handy, because I think when you see all these pressures on Joe Burrow happening, you're kind of wondering, is this on Burton or is this on Burrow or is this on the offensive line? The grading tells us a lot of these pressures in unnecessary sacks and QB hits. A lot of them were on Burrow playing very risky. They charged Burrow with both of the sacks that he endured during the game. So nothing was charged to the offensive line in terms of sacks out of those starting 5. So I think all of them, I think, played pretty well. I mean, you have 3 of them grading in the 80s in pass blocking. I'll take that any day of the week. That was Amarius Mims, Orlando Brown Jr., and Ted Karras. Dylan Fairchild with the 76.5. So he's right there. He did give up a pressure. And Lucas Patrick, I mean, he had 11 pass blocking snaps, did give up 1 pressure, 72.5 pass block grade. So definitely a good bounce back from what we saw against the Eagles the week prior.
And if he does that all season, if the line does that all season, the Bengals are going to have a good year on offense.
Yeah.
They're going to have a good year on offense.
And we can't forget that, I mean, even though it's the preseason, last week the Bengals were going up against a Vic Fangio coach defense, who is by far and away been the best defensive coordinator not named Bill Belichick over the last 15 years.
And I mean, one of the other best defensive minds in the last 10 or 15 years is Dan Quinn.
Yeah.
So you've gone up against that, and now you have Shane Steichen on. But also,
and
who is the defensive coordinator for the Colts? Remind me.
Just a familiar face.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Costner.
Lou Anarumo,
who kind of looks like Kevin Costner a little bit. Like if you ask somebody to play Lou Anarumo in a movie, would you not pick Kevin Costner?
Kevin Costner's not New England enough.
Well, he's an actor. He can make up a voice or an accent.
So why is there going to be
job?
Is there going to be a movie about Lou Anarumo?
I know there's not, but I'm just saying.
Who plays Zach Taylor?
Who plays Zach Taylor? Zach Braff.
I don't even know who that is.
The Scrubs guy.
Okay.
Guy from Scrubs. I'm trying to think of people that look like Zach.
Uh-huh. Zach's he's a typical looking dude, you know?
Yeah.
And does Macaulay Culkin play Burrow?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. He did, yeah. Tyler's right. Costner was good draft day. He was. Okay.
Can we get a side-by-side of Lou Anarumo and Kevin Costner? Is there a way I can do that? Where's the Chat GPT bot at?
Oh, boy. You're breaking out the Chat GPT.
I don't know. I don't even know how to use this thing.
We're going to be doing... Lisa says, stop it, Nick. Stop it. Let's go to the defense. For me, my biggest thing is it is never a good sign when 5 of your bottom 7 PFF graders in a preseason game are starters. Now, and this is kind of one of these things, as I was like making a note, I was like, wait a second. I don't know that this is a good thing. They only had 7 plays, but that doesn't make me feel better because those 7 plays resulted in
like 100 rushing yards, 120 rushing yards.
Jordan Battle, not great. I mean, he was, and Jordan Battle's your guy. You would admit that. You've been on the Jordan Battle train for a long time. That was a bad performance from him in only 7 plays. Now, Zach Taylor said, and he's not wrong, we're not showing any scheme. And yes, that is an accurate statement for sure. But how much of that is making you feel better, and how much of that is you are absolutely terrified?
I mean, I feel a little bit better. I mean, that they're not showing any scheme, but even if you're not showing scheme, like, you should just be competent enough to not give up 20 yards a carry. Like, is that crazy to think about? Like, it's like, even if you could be playing the most vanilla 4-3 defense you can possibly freaking play, and you should be giving up not 20 yards. Like, if you gave up 7 yards a carry, that's where I'm like, okay, whatever, right? 20 yards a carry. And also, I just have to note on the announcer speak that Joe Buck had during the Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt wide open, just gaping hole that, they were like, oh man, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, he's going to make the team. That was a really good run for McCroskey Merritt. I think my 84-year-old grandmother could have ran through that shit and have scored a touchdown. Like, that was like literally you just look at Bengals defense on that, and it seemed like they were just willingly engaging blockers instead of going for the ball carrier. So I just wanted to note on Joe Buck saying that wasn't that great of a run by Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. That was the worst run defense I've ever seen in NFL football. And at any point,
I am holding out judgment on the defense. Now, I'm not terrified, but I'm not worried. Like, there is some definitely things to that. Lisa says her 86-year-old mother uses a walker and could have run through that. Yeah. But like it is, Golden isn't showing anything. How much better does it feel? You don't have BJ Hill. You don't have Dax Hill. Does that make you feel better at all? You didn't have Geno Stone. So you've not had a
okay,
fully
Geno
healthy
Stone's
defense.
not going to make you feel better against run
No,
defense.
I'm not. But you haven't had your full defense at all. But you're going to have to find ways to stop the run, because I think it was, Tyler said, you can't stop the run in the AFC North, you're not going to win football games.
Also, correction here, Seabird. TJ Slayton did play, and TJ Slayton also played like shit. He did not play good.
7 snaps. And that's kind of like 7 snaps, that's a small sample size, but the issue was that sample size was real bad. Real bad. Okay, the hope. Because, listen, it wasn't all terrible, because after the atrocious start, they played well. Now, again, you were going up against Josh Johnson, who is 75 years old. And when he came out, I was like, how are you still in the league? Josh Johnson? And then Sam Hartman was trash. Just awful.
My wife was really upset that he cut his hair.
Oh, did he used to have long hair? I don't even know.
Yeah, he used to have a mane, and now it's like Samson. He cuts it off, and then he looks like, I don't know, like value brand Zach Wilson out on the field. Like, it wasn't good. But he did make our defense look good.
Yeah, Tyson Anderson played well. Barrett Carter had a nice interception.
Really good play by Barrett Carter on the interception. Really nice break for the ball. The Tyson Anderson.
Let's see here. Billy says here to you, Mick, you're not an idiot. You're an idiot. Not only could your 84-year-old, you are an idiot. Not only could your 84-year-old grandmother not score a touchdown on that play, you couldn't have done it either. Comments like that will keep you on this type of video.
Okay, well, somebody doesn't get hyperbole, but okay. Anyways, so Barrett Carter made a really nice play on the interception to get the ball back and to add another touchdown, another Mitchell Tinsley touchdown in the second half. the Tyson Anderson pick.
Obligatory.
Right. That's a good descriptive word there, Riley. Just a bad throw by either Hartman or Josh Johnson. I can't remember which one threw that interception.
Johnson threw that one. Hartman threw the other. The one to Barrett Carter.
So yeah, I think it was more of a bad throw from Josh Johnson than a really good play from Tyson Anderson. But hey, he made the play, played center field. I still think like if Geno Stone was hurt into the season, which I don't think either of us think that will happen. I think Tyson Anderson could play at that free safety position. I think the defense would still function.
Yes. And I think he really showed some things. Those were really the two guys that I mentioned. And I mean, the defense as a whole, you're still seeing some things from Braylon Lux where he has some moments where he looks really good. And I don't imagine he's going to be a guy that they can easily stash in the practice squad. But he's a guy that I'm very excited to see next year.
Yeah.
Of giving him a year on the practice squad because he's got some of the intangibles. He shows some flashes of being pretty good to where maybe this could be a guy that you got in the future that could be a decent piece.
Yeah. I think he played really well as well. Trying to figure out where was he lined up at, because for some reason the coverage grade does not have the alignment snaps. I'm gonna have to click into the player here. Is he playing in the nickel?
Yes, he is primarily a nickel corner.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Yes, so he played, of his snaps, he played 38 in the slot and then 1 as in the box. So, which is doing this thing. Billy wants to know, Mick, is hyperbole similar to the Super Bowl?
Huh?
I think he's making a joke. Is hyperbole similar to the Super Bowl?
Went over my head there.
Tyler says could be a Vinny Ray. I agree. As an undrafted guy that you potentially get as or you could just say he's a slot corner number 21 as an undrafted
new
guy.
Vontaze Burfict.
Oh boy! Which you see, he's coaching. Where's he coaching? UNLV. I think that's right. I think it is UNLV.
Yeah, no, I noted that. I saw that, and I was like,
probably should have mentioned that. But yeah, Braylon Lux,
his players how to tackle the right way. Wink, wink.
We also have to mention Evan McPherson hit a 54-yarder. Was that not right? I think that's it. It was over 50. Really good sign to see him nail one. Now, I know, was there any pressure to that? Probably not. That's what I saw a lot of, fans saying online. But at the same time, I'm just glad he made it.
Yeah. He's back.
Because the Bengals need him. And yeah. I was at least a tiny bit surprised they didn't bring in any competition for him in training camp.
Well, they also just extended him to a decent sized deal. So I don't think they were gonna. I don't think they were gonna move on from him that quickly.
What is Cade York doing though right now?
I don't know. Missing easy field goals in overtime.
Is he driving Uber? Maybe is he on a team right now? No, he is not.
And I think Riley is spot on. Potentially, this is all speculation. I don't know, but I think that we don't know how long Evan McPherson had that lingering injury for throughout the season. On top of that, Riley also mentioned yesterday did have a child. That's probably a little bit of a distraction, and also a bundle of joy. That's what children are.
How's your nephew?
He's doing good. He's doing good as far as I know. So yeah, I mean, having a child, you might have been dealing with a lingering injury. You had you pretty much had a new holder that you weren't anticipating on having with Ryan Rico, and I think there were some issues with that as well. I think that was just the perfect recipe for a disastrous season for Evan McPherson. So now you get another continuity of that special teams unit with Cal and with Ryan Rico holding. Is that field goal unit?
It's the first time he's had continuity.
It is since
ever.
It's the first time he's had continuity since ever. I guess 2022, kind of, right? I mean, because Drew Chrisman didn't really come into play until late.
But
in
I guess
2022.
you had
season.
Cal Adamitis week 2, though. Week 1,
Oh
you had
yeah,
Clark.
you did. You did have Cal Adamitis. I forgot about that.
So because Clark was
That caused, that's what cost
yeah.
us the game against the Steelers.
Yeah, don't remind me. And remember who the emergency long snapper was that day?
Yeah, it was Mitchell Wilcox.
There you go. Billy asks, do you guys think it's possible the defense is purposefully keeping it vanilla during the preseason? I'm not seeing any blitz packages or stunts. I think absolutely that's the case.
Oh yeah, they are.
And every team is doing that. Every team is doing that. Adam Vinatieri once talked on the Pat McAfee show about the importance of the holder. He credited with molding McAfee as a holder. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it is so important on placement and everything for those really, really good kickers when it comes to that. Anything else from the Commanders game, or do you want to go ahead and break down the Colts? You've got a lot to say about the Colts. Where's Troy when we need him?
Should I call Troy real quick? I don't think he even knows who the Colts backup players are.
Well, we know it probably won't be seeing Daniel Jones. Probably won't be seeing Anthony Richardson. I don't even
the starter.
Who is the Colts' third string quarterback? Who will be
Riley
playing
Leonard?
quarterback for the Colts?
Riley Leonard?
Is it Riley Leonard?
I'm pretty sure it's Riley Leonard.
You'll have Riley Leonard against Jake Browning. So sadly, we have a fantasy draft, so we're not going to be able to be there on Saturday.
Tell Lisa it's preseason. Why don't you just come to our fantasy draft instead? It's going to be way more fun.
We'll be there though for week 1. But as far as the Colts game goes, Saturday afternoon at Paycor Stadium, no starters are playing. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Thank goodness that no starters are playing. Is there anything Bengals wise that you're actually wanting to see?
I don't really care. I don't care. I mean, honestly, maybe we see that battle for the wide receiver 6 position get a little more heated up. Because I don't think Isaiah Williams hasn't had a good preseason at all, at least in those 2 games. I haven't really heard anything about him in camp. And all this Mitchell Tinsley hype's been, pretty much the talk of the preseason. I mentioned it prior, but it's and no pun intended actually, but reminded me a lot of the Kendrick Pryor preseason that he had a few years back, where he was pretty much the preseason darling. So maybe seeing that battle heat up a little bit. Again, the Muma Jongmeta versus Shaka Hayward linebacker position.
And listen,
battle.
Joe Giles Harris has graded well both games.
Yeah, I think that he's a dark horse for that roster spot as well. But I do think he might be somebody that could be more easily stashed on a practice squad, just considering that he's been around the league. He's been around the league a little bit longer at this point.
Tyler asks, "Are you guys running 40s for draft position? Are we running?
We actually
40s?
are. We are. I think we're running a 40, aren't we? Where's Riley? Riley needs to answer this. He's our
resident athletics. Yeah, no, I didn't keep up. I was busy, and I looked down, and I had like 150 messages from that group chat, and I told him that I'm not reading those. That is way too much.
I don't know. So I think cornhole is part of the combine here, which I just want to get some cornhole in anyways. While we're there, beforehand, maybe. 40-yard draft or 40-yard dash.
Cone drill,
maybe
right? Some QB. Quarterback.
So what we did for the cone drill a few years back is we did like a 3 cone drill, but at each cone you had to stop and chug a beverage. I don't know if we're going to be. Yep, we are doing that again. And
I don't think the beverages are part of it though this year. I think from what I understand, I think that got screwed.
Well, no, I think we are allowing non-alcoholic beverages.
Oh boy. Okay. So that's what we get to look forward to. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about fantasy football as well. But yeah, Bengals happen. Do you have any predictions for Saturday as far as the final score?
I think the game will be played.
I'm going to say Colts win 16-9.
Okay.
Come on, make a prediction.
Bengals win 19-11. 19-11.
That's disgusting. Okay.
I was trying to think of like the ugliest final score number. We're going to go 19-11. Bengals are going to go up 19-3. Colts are going to score a touchdown late and get a 2-point conversion. to make it an 8-point game. And then it's going to stay that way. 19-11.
There you go. You've got it there. Next week, we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll have more on because we'll have the 53-man roster next week. So we'll do this. Tyler says he took 2 scoops of pre-workout before my draft combine last year. Placed 5th at 300 pounds. I was jacked out of my mind. My goodness. There you go, Mick. That might be your ticket to success.
I've got a ticket to success, and instead of pre-workout, it's
thins.
It's the Baker Mayfield pre-workout.
Are you gonna pop a second one? Is that your goal for that?
No.
You just do 2 Zins?
2. We'll do 4, just 1 for each quadrant of the mouth, and we're gonna be rolling.
Is that what it is? Rolling? Or how many of you, what is your max that you've ever done this? Whole lot of testosterone on the podcast. Yeah, you're not wrong, Lisa.
Yeah, wait until we have a Dude Wipes commercial in the middle of our set here.
What is the most Zins you've ever put in your mouth with that?
Nah, I've never done more than 2, and that was a while ago. Okay,
so you're going to put 4 in before the draft. We'll report back. I'm sure that people are dying to see this. Get some good old Hamilton math. Drafting first guaranteed.
Hey,
I could bring some from down in my neck of the woods. We got plenty of that down here in good old Western-ish Kentucky. We got plenty of that. I could bring some of that. But yeah, we'll look forward to next week's show. It's going to be nice weather as well over these next week or so. So enjoy that. If you're going out, if you're going to the game, have fun, be safe, enjoy it. And luckily, we get to start talking about some real football here very soon. And that's what I'm excited for. Any parting thoughts?
Say that any better.
Any parting thoughts?
No. Oh yeah, player of highlight. Just because he's on.
Oh yes, that's right. I forgot
here. DJ Giddens, my 4th round dynasty draft pick this year, is a running back for the Colts. Hoping to see him a little bit. He hasn't had a great preseason, but that's probably because I don't know how to draft well in dynasty.
Is that why?
Even though my wide receivers have turned out okay so far. So got a trifecta in the 2nd and 3rd round of Pat Bryant, Trey Harris, and Jack Besh. So AFC West trio of wide receivers there. That'll make up my DJ Giddens pick.
We'll get more updates, I'm sure, from you on those throughout the season as well. So, Mick, until next week, have a good rest of your week, and Hoo Day.
Hoo Day. Thanks for watching.